We're super excited to welcome to the studio of Vibe 105, one of the most respected and multifaceted performers in the entertainment industry, Miss Vanessa Williams.
Hello.
Hello. Where do we start with you? 4 Emmy nods, 11 Grammy noms, 7 NAACP awards, Oscar, Grammy, and Golden Globe wins. Your accomplishments are legendary, and admittedly, we're glossing over half of it. How do you define Vanessa Williams after all of these accolades?
I would describe myself as a courageous enthusiast who's always willing to want to know what's next and how to get more.
I like that. So on a music tip, you have numerous hits from Right Stuff to Saving the Best for Last, and a song that I really love, which was Colors of the Wind. So with a catalog like yours, how do you narrow down your performance? What should the audience be looking forward to and expecting from a Vanessa Williams headlined show?
Well, they'll expect the hits, which they'll get. Of course, I'll do Save the Best for Last and The Sweetest Days and Dreamin' and Colors of the Wind from Pocahontas for sure. I will be doing some Broadway tunes that I've done. I've done a number of Broadway shows, and so I will be doing something from, some of the Broadway shows that I've been in, especially my favorite, Stephen Sondheim, who we just lost last year. But I do a wonderful piece that I did with Barbara Cook back when I was in Sondheim and Sondheim in 2010 that I kind of tell the story of and bring back to life. My band has been with me since 1997, when we first went on tour with Luther Vandross. And so I've got my old guard with me and
your family.
Yes, my family. And I honestly, I mix it up once I get to the venue and I kind of peek out and see okay, what is the makeup of the audience? Sometimes if it's a little more mature, I'll do more Broadway. Sometimes if it's a little more R&B, I'll do more R&B stuff. I'll throw in a comfort zone. I'll throw in, some of the jams that, work to do, all the things that I know will get people moving. So it kind of, I read it as soon as I walk in and I know who's out there. Right. And then I can also change it up on, when I'm stage 2, I'll go, let's skip that. Let's move on to this.
Well, and that's the power of knowing your catalog and having such a lengthy one, right? Now, I'm lucky, to also, I've been around for, it'll be 40 years next year that I've been, famous. So I've got people that know my recording career that started in 1988, but then I've got people who only know me as an actress. Who only know me from Desperate Housewives or Ugly Betty. So, they're like, oh my God, she sings that song? I've heard that song. I didn't know it was her. Oh, I didn't know that. So it's kind of trippy when a young person will come up to me and ask for, are you Vanessa Williams? And I'll say, yeah, but how do you know me? And they'll say, oh, you're the voice of Captain Beekman on Tots, which is Disney Junior. Yeah. Then, somebody will say, oh, you were in the Odyssey. We watched that in history class. So I always ask, how do you know me? Because I'd never assume. Right. Which is totally awesome. And speaking of the layers to you, you're now in the best-selling author category. And you penned a fairly moving project at the beginning of the pandemic with a children's book called Bubble Kisses. Talk to me about that, and why was it the right time to release that project?
Well, it was my second book that I had done. I wrote a book with my mom called You Have No Idea, which came out in 2012. And that was heartfelt and, kind of my biopic and my mom's biopic and us working together through our lives and memories and stuff. So that was the big lift. Bubble Kisses, after being a mom of 4 and always wanted to do a children's album, this is a project that I've had on the back burner for years. And I had worked on it and it just happened to come out during, the pandemic. Obviously nobody knew it was going to happen in 2020. It was always scheduled for that time, but I ended up being at home and being able to promote it, via Zoom and Skype and all that stuff out of my living room. So it was actually a great time because people were spending time with their kids and being able to sing along. And I have a CD that's part of the book, and it's got a beautiful black girl who goes to sleep, has a very special pet goldfish named Sal, and they go to sleep and she turns into a mermaid and they go on these wonderful adventures under the sea at nighttime. So it was just lovely to be able to have a beautiful imagery, a wonderful song, and a quick, lovely little book that you can sing along with your kids.
Yeah, well, we're certainly happy that you continue to add to the writers section of your bio. And, you're staying booked and busy from small screen to big screen, theater stages to concert halls. It's wild to imagine what you can't do. So what do you personally hope that you will impact through your life, for yourself, for your family going forward?
Well, I'm going to get into the producer, putting on my producer hat, which is definitely an evolution. Once you've worked in the business long enough, you realize, okay, this can be streamlined. This makes better sense. You know how things run, and also having projects that you can bring to life. So I've got a number of projects that I'm working on, that we're working on getting deals so I can bring them to the small screen, the television, and because pretty much everything now is on television. Even though it's a movie, you can still see it streamed. So that's kind of my next venture, making projects happen. And got a few. And I'll, of course, continue to, just finished POTUS on Broadway. We just had our close in August. That was a nice limited run. I just did Queen of the Universe for Paramount Plus, which will come out, I think, around holiday time. So, when I get an opportunity and it's meaningful and fun, that's when I jump on. And luckily, I can afford to do that at this point in my life.
And when do you sleep?
I sleep. I will sleep in a car. I will sleep whatever I can. I take cat naps. That's an essential thing for me. Yes.
Good. We're happy that you're looking out for at least the self-care piece. I'm sure you've been to Toronto and the GTA over the years, but how long has it been since you've been in these parts? And is there something memorable about Toronto for you?
Well, yeah, I was just there right before lockdown, or 2020. I had a clothing line, so I was on the Canada Shopping Network, and so that was 2019. So I haven't been since after everything opened up, because I know Canada was very strict about having visitors come in terms of quarantine and lockdown and all that stuff. Yes. But and I've performed in Niagara. Probably that was the last time I performed in Canada. I've got some great friends. Jean-Paul Riccio, who's one of my good friends, he's a beauty expert. I'm going to see he's coming to the show. Ron White, who has those amazing shoes and boots that I wear all the time. He's one of my good friends, and I'll be seeing him. I've got lots of friends.
Okay, so there's a big Toronto reunion afoot. We're happy that you're going to be joining us, and we're looking forward to this performance. And we just want to give you the opportunity to let our listeners know what is it that you want them to, be prepared for, bring, what kind of attitude do you bring to a Vanessa Williams show?
Well, of course, I'll bring glamour. So I always wear something, a gorgeous, sparkling something, and probably do a costume change for if we have an opportunity. But they'll get a chance to hopefully tear up and be moved by a song that I hopefully be able to wiggle in their seats and clap along with stuff that's going to make them groove and listen to, my story. I do kind of do a little bit of a biography of how I started and where I've come and what happens and singing at the Academy Awards and the backstories of each song. So I hope they get a little taste of who I am and another side of me. If they only know me from television and Wilhelmina Slater or, Renee Perry on Desperate Housewives, they'll get a chance to hear the real me.
Yes. And we're looking forward to seeing you and then some. Thanks a lot for giving us the time to discuss what you're bringing. And of course, trying to do a snippet of a big life that you've lived so far. Thanks so much, Vanessa.
Thank you so much. Have a great day.
I want to thank you for taking the time out of your schedule to talk to us at Vibe 105. People, it goes down at the Rose, Brampton this Saturday, October 15 at 8 p.m. The Queen, the incomparable Vanessa Williams, live in concert for one night only. Make sure you don't miss this one.